Hi, it's Toby doing a tech talk. Going through the book. We got the book. I don't know how to line it up, but Tom Meyer and Townsend's book, Collection of Exercise for PLC Programming, 2.15. He has a cooker hood, turning on a light, turning off a light, turn off a fan, turn on a fan, low speed, high speed, medium speed. I just realized I have a error because I turn on the fan without speed and then it comes on when it has speed selected. So his is more of a discrete. I put in some fan speeds, but anyway, we'll take a lookie and see how it goes. So I've got a virtual controller using Control X Core and running the PLC. And for you guys that know Bosch, this is the Control X is a code assist program. So but you can see that I've got Control X Core 64 and I'm on the engineering station based on running the core. So what that allows me to do is simulate, and I can download to my PLC and the Rexroth control works pretty much based on, like it says, standalone PLC. Of course, if you try to do motion, it doesn't quite work out, but you can see that I'm operating. And if I go home, it's probably going to time it out, but I don't know. But it's got all the applications running that I have built currently. But we're just going to look at the PLC, and you can see I've got one application running and one in state mode. And so we will cut this off, go back over to our PLC. And if you take a look, I created a structure. My structure looks like this. So I took a fan as a type, did an on, off, speed, 1, 2, and 3, and then a command, 1, 2, and 3. Just to practice thinking in object-oriented. Anyway, that's the fan speed that's the fan structure. The fan speed reference is a little function block that I made up based on if we choose to command low speed, that we will put in a speed reference for low speed, a speed reference for medium speed, and a speed reference for high speed. And if none of them are chosen, then our speed reference will go to 0. With that in mind, I initialized my speeds here just to make it a little bit easier, because otherwise they all start at 0 and then you gotta populate them. That's my function, and as you can see, I did all this in structured text. So we're not being real fancy here, just trying to power act this logic. And I haven't commented this very well, but I've got an initialization. That way I always turn my fan off and turn my speed off. And then this code right here is to take care of because if you don't code it explicitly, then you can turn on low, and then if you turn on medium, low stays on, and so on. So in this case, I end up hitting it twice to get to the next button, and yeah, so that's a little bit sloppy. The not quite as well as the cooking hood above your stove. But for this exercise, it'll work. This is my call to my speed reference. So the function, or the fan 1 on, is based on the fan structure. I called it fan 1. Maybe you have a hood that's got 2 fans. We don't know. And then the light, I'm just using the light based on the HMI, so, or the visualization. Visualization will turn on the light based on the pre-populated buttons or button I pulled out of the library. So anyway, let's look here and see if it will run appropriately. So I am not online at the moment. I'm going to log in. And we'll just log in with online change. And if we take a look there, then I have my hood. Mine is more, I don't know, stainless steel. His is all shiny black. So you can build your hood to your preference. The light is here. So if I turn that button on, my light comes on, and you can see light on. And if I turn this on, then my fan will come on, but my fan doesn't come on because it's waiting on a speed reference. And how do we know? Well, if we look over here and it's still showing it as off. So it is going to look for a speed reference. So that is an error. So it should come up. Oh, there we go. So we're on there and it's toggled. So maybe I just didn't hold it down long enough. But right now I still don't have a speed reference. So we're gonna choose low. And looks like it took out. Oh, no, came back. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So I got one little breeze going on, and my 5.4 showed up. So that's my low speed, and this is my breeze from my fan. Alright then. So with that in mind, say that the house is still going to burn down because we're cooking too hot, and we want to be stubborn, and instead of lowering the heat, we decide to add more fan, which I'm not sure why, but, and this is what I was talking about with the way my logic is written. It won't let me click on that until I click off. And so then I went to a secondary speed. My secondary speed, 7.81. And same thing, if I click off here, boom, and then I can go to the third one. And then my speed goes up to 12.4. So I get 3 different references for speed for the low, medium, and high. And I can turn my light off if I get rid of this. I can turn my light off. I didn't make it fancy. In today's world, we didn't have a timer on here, so the light would just go off, you know, when you went upstairs and decided to not come back down until breakfast. And you'd probably have a timer on the fan too, but if we want to turn the fan off, like so, again, this is still on, so I can choose whichever one. So apparently it's only on the first, because it will let me switch otherwise. Yeah, alright, so my buttons aren't, they're just a little hokey, because I can go that way, but not necessarily without turning some things off. Anyway, so high, medium, low, and if I want to have the light on, I can do that. If I want to turn the fan off, I can do that. If I want to turn the fan back on and still have the low pressed down, we'll do that. We'll put it on medium, off, on, And let's just say we're done cooking, but we're gonna leave the light on to remind us to come back and do the dishes. Wait, maybe I should show you. I'll show you the function, but in order for the function to be showable, get back offline, and then it will show us here. Yeah, so I just did, if you're commanding low, medium, or high, then reference the speed for low, medium, or high, and return that speed to the cooker fan control. And then just some, if we're greater than 0, then we are cooking. Assuming that you don't need the fan unless you are causing something to smoke. Otherwise you're not cooking. So, but that was just a little bit of the logic. Anyway, that's about enough time. Again, this is Control X with Bosch Rexroth and an example from I can't ever get this camera thing right, but Tom Meyer Insenson's book. So feel free to get these exercises and play around with it as basic PLC knowledge. If you can turn these little things into functions, then you can add those pieces together and do something bigger. So it's good practice. Anyway, keep plugging along. Have a good night.